Hey, welcome back to Let's Go Ford. We're going to be taking a look today at the 2020 Ford F250 with a 7.3 liter in an XLT trim package, along with this massive BDS 4.5-inch lift kit that's on it, wrapped with 37-inch tires. Let's get into what exactly this truck has, why we did this setup this way, and what combinations we can do for you. So let's take a look at what the 2020 Ford F250 has to offer. First, in the XLT, you're gonna have the chrome backing of the headlights. That's gonna be a halogen bulb. Obviously, you can switch those bulbs out with LED and really get some additional light out of it instead of going all the way up into Lariat with a ultimate package, getting quad beam LEDs or platinum or limited or whatever the case might be. We're gonna show you a way to save $20,000+ real quick and still have all the capability you want to have with the look that you're looking for as well. So chrome bumper, we've got the fog lights down below, and the new grille that they designed for the 2020 model that comes up, has an angle here, builds into the headlight, wraps all the way around. They did the huge 2-bar chrome grille on this, which is going to be not a chrome package truck, not a sport package truck, but this is going to be the XLT package, and this is they're going to call this a 601 package. Okay, so we're going to go through this, but you get a huge emblem in the front. That's I want to say it's a 13-inch emblem. Quote me on that. Go measure yours and make a comment down below. Big tow hooks up in the front as well, massive tow hooks. But I want to see up and underneath. If you can see this, it's going to be a hard angle to get, but up underneath on this lift kit that we did with BDS on this 4.5-inch, you're going to see that front stabilizer shock that we've added to this vehicle. That's going to tighten up that front steering when you go with a lift this tall. Not the 6 or 7 or 8-inch that we've done in the past, 10 inches that we've done in the past. This is a 4.5, so it's definitely gonna be something that's used, I don't want to say an economy lift, but it's a robust lift, but it's more purpose-built, not the pavement queen and the parking lot princess that you're looking at. This is a purpose-built lift, and the reason why, in this area, we've got a lot of oil lines or a lot of pipelines that are going through, a lot of natural gas going through. You got a lot of the fracking stuff that's going on too in Michigan. So this is what we're using for a lot of the guys that are actually using this truck to get through areas that are a lot more difficult than what a regular truck can get through. 37-inch Mickey Thompson Baja ATZ P3 tire wrapped on this thing. You'll see these tires go on vehicles like the Roush Package 150s, not quite this aggressive on the mud terrain with the ATZ P3s, but we've got it wrapped in a 20-inch Hostile Havoc wheel. So that is just your little Y spokes with a machine finish and all black on the inside. Just a good look with a simulated bead lock wrapped around where your bead is set on the tire too. Take a look inside here. You're gonna have the upgraded BDS shock system that's going on this as well, with an upgraded spring on the truck as well. We're going to go to the other side. I want to show you that BDS 4-link front suspension that's on this vehicle as well, going to a full solid front axle, full solid rear axle. So you've got them both solid in the front and the back. You do have locking lugs on this, so we can get an open front hub cover for you to put it on an auto setting or on a full lock setting. This is already going to be set to an auto setting for 4-wheel drive usage. If we take a look at the mirrors, you're going to have black mirrors with LED turn signals that are built in. Those are power extending as well, so those will come out and they'll go back in. So when you are hooking up to a trailer, a camper, whatever you might have behind you, you're able to see that. Things I like, little things like, only 5'7", so these boards, yes, I'm gonna need them. Can't get in the truck without them, right? Well, this is an extended length running board that runs all the way out to where it says Super Duty on the back side here. Now you can stand on that and be able to get into the bed of your truck. If you got a toolbox, you can reach into it instead of having to go in and out of the bed the whole time. Here's a cool thing. If you are going in and out of the bed the whole time, this has got a tailgate step. We'll show you that in just a second. The FX4 package is going to be our off-road package with Ford. What that's going to have with it is going to be a locking rear differential and typically an upgraded Rancho shock. Okay, well, we've upgraded the Rancho shocks again to the next level. So you're 3 levels up on shocks with our lift kit we're doing here at Let's Go Ford. So you're going to look in there and still be able to see the monstrous BDS NX2 Nitro Series premium shock absorber that's going to be on the back axle along with the front axle. In the taillight here, you're going to see this darker piece, right? So this ruby red color that goes with that ruby lens. You've got a halogen bulb up here, a halogen bulb down here, but this right here is going to be your blind spot radar system that shoots off the truck, off the side of it, left and right, both driver and passenger. So if you have somebody in your blind spot before you merge, this is going to give you an indicator on both your driver and passenger side mirror to let you know if there's a vehicle in your area to move, right? Well, what if you're hooked up and you're towing? Well, if you're towing, you got this massive hitch down here, which will come with either 1 or 2 different reducers to use your existing hitches, but you've got a 4-pin and 7-pin wiring harness. As soon as you're plugged in and you're towing, it's going to activate that blind spot awareness to shoot behind the truck up to 40 feet. Rear view camera is going to be up here. Great spot for it. And what I've talked to a lot of people on too is you typically have a jack in the way, somewhere in here. So what Ford did is recess their tailgate. So if you do have a jack, well, we're trying to get that recessed a little bit more in to not be in the way of a jack. When your truck's this tall, jacks are the last thing that you really need to worry about because you're probably going to have a drop hitch anyway. You've got a tough bed spray and liner coming from the manufacturer. That's right from Ford. Here's our tailgate step. We're going to pull this out, push it up, and anytime you see anything yellow on your tailgate or on your tailgate step, push down, right? So 1, push in, yellow, push down, 2, push down, then yellow again, push in. So push, push, push when it comes to yellow, okay? Inside, if you take a look over on this side of the bed, this is gonna have a 7-pin and 4-pin wiring harness in the bed as well. Well, what's that for? Well, if you have a gooseneck or if you have a fifth wheel application that you want to use on this truck, you're able to get into the bed and use this, I call it a picture frame. I don't know any easier way to say it, but you got 4 pucks right here that hook to an existing fifth wheel hitch or a gooseneck ready to go. You'll see that saddle. We're going to show you what that looks like of how does this work underneath the bed. It's not elevated. It really utilizes the right height because the truck is so tall. It helps to lay that down a little bit closer to the ground so you're not adjusting as much on your fifth wheel or gooseneck applications coming down to receive that, right? When you're done with the tailgate, just push it in, the tailgate step, and then push it up. You got 4 different reverse sensing system little sensors that are coming out of the back of the truck. That'll sense from about 6 feet back. It'll start beeping. The faster it beeps, the closer you're getting to your bumper. When it hits a solid tone, beep, you're within a foot of hitting something. Just take a look at your backup camera. It'll make it easy to see. When you're taking a look here too, it's not just the tires, it's not just the wheels, but we're gonna look at this part right here. This, I'm calling it the saddle. Don't really know what the technical name for it is, but this is a saddle that goes along your frame rail, inside and outside. It bolts through, as you can see a bolt here, another one over there. It does it on both sides. But that's what locks in that puck system or that fifth wheel gooseneck prep package to this truck to be able to tie it to the frame, tie the bed down to it as well. Makes it all work really well together. So if you don't want to go and spend, 80 in the 90s on limiteds and platinums, this truck starts out at, before we lifted it, was $56,790. Now this isn't just the 6.2 liter, this is a 7.3 liter. So now we're at 430 horsepower, 475 pound-foot of torque instead of the 6.2 liter. That's going to be in the 370s, right? So we're going up significantly there. Torque, this is a torque monster. They nicknamed this engine Godzilla. There's a reason for it. 7.3 liters, it's a massive motor, but they've forged a lot of things on the interior of it, on the interior of the engine, in order to keep the longevity out there for you and still give you the torque and horsepower response that you want. Towing capability, 14,000 pounds. Gooseneck, 15,000 pounds. I mean, that's what diesels used to wish they could do in the day. Now we're doing it with a gasoline engine. If you need to upgrade, we can go to the 6.7 liter turbo diesel. That's going to be putting out the 470 plus horsepower with 1,050 plus pound-foot of torque. If you need that much, you should probably get a CDL and really get going on this, all right? We're gonna take a look at the interior of the truck, just a few things on the XLT to make sure you know what the difference is between XLT, what you're gonna be getting with a Lariat, an XLT with convenience package. Let's just take a look at what the interior of this XLT looks like, and then we'll kind of go from there. Fair enough? Come on inside. All right, let's take a look at the inside of the 2020 Ford F250 that we've obviously lifted and had a bunch of goodies on. We can start out by taking a look at the seating. The seating is going to be a 40-20-40, or you have the option of this massive console that is literally humongous with file hangers and storage and trays and everything else inside of there. So you can fit everything in there that you need to. Cord slots right here as well. So if you put your phone in here, cool, you can no problem be able to put whatever device in there, file hangers, everything. Now you've got 4 cup holders up front. Right now it looks like 2. Slide this over, now you've got 4. If you need to reprogram your key, it'll be underneath here, which we've shown a couple times on other vehicles. That's where your reprogram key slot is, or just a good spot to put whatever you want to keep out of everybody's eyes, sight, touch, and feel. There you go. Inside here, you've got smart charging USB. Then you have the smart charging USB-C. Okay, so that's going to be for your data, your high-speed charging, a lot more of that. Well, a lot more of the efficiency, and you can now have choices, which is nice. Instead of going with just one, you've got two choices. And if that doesn't work, then you flip this open, you go to a 12 volt. If that doesn't work, then you put your power block inside of your 3-prong outlet that's running 400 watts coming out of it with an AC 110 volt versus the 12 volt. Up front on this screen, we're going to have navigation that's on this truck too. If we just hit that home button up in the top left up here, now then that's going to open up our audio, our phone, our navigation system, which is optional on this truck, but you can get it. You have apps as well. So if we just click on our applications, we're going to go to Sirius XM Travel, or otherwise known as Travel Link, right? So that Travel Link is going to be able to tell you things like ski conditions, weather, fuel pricing, your traffic, how everything is kind of flowing. If you have 2 dots here, go ahead and swipe to your next option over. Same with settings. If we go over to settings, swipe and have your next option over. Or if there's 3, you'll see a 3rd dot when you get into some additional features in the Lariat, in the Platinum, and the King Ranch, and the Limited, and all the trucks that are above this. FX4 is also going to give you a hill descent control system. What this is basically a braking system to creep at a low speed down a steep steep descent, right? So that literally applies your braking and is a cruise control to creep and literally like rock crawl, ruts, mud, 2 tracks, whatever you're going down a hill through. This is going to keep control of the vehicle traction control system up here as well. And then you have this, your lane keeping system. A lane keeping system is just going to make sure that you're not veering in and out of your lane. It will vibrate the steering wheel, but that lane keeping system really just helps keep the truck in the designated lane that it's supposed to be in moving forward. So that's a nice option to have. If you take a look at your 4-wheel drive, in the 4-wheel drive, we've got a locking rear differential too. So that's why it says pull with an X over the rear differential, I guess, I don't know, display or picture that they've got going on there. If you pull that out, 2-wheel drive with a locker, push it in, 2-wheel drive without the locker. 4, same thing. 4 high, pull it out, there's the locker engaged. Go back to 2 high, now we don't have the locker engaged, it's just push and pull. Trailer brake controller with your gain and output settings with the plus and minus button down here. You can squeeze that together, and the truck will tell you if your wiring is not right, it'll give you a display on your LCD productivity screen that says your trailer is not connected. Just literally, you squeeze it and it goes trailer disconnected. That means your wiring could be off, whether that's in the bed of the truck like we showed you for the 5th wheel and gooseneck attachment, or if you're going to do a conventional or bumper pull from the back of the truck. Whew, that's a lot. Let's keep going. There's more. On the steering wheel, you've got all your audio controls on the right-hand side. Right side, right screen. So you got volume, up and down, your presets. And this is not going to be for memory, that's for media. What do you want to listen to? AM, FM, Sirius satellite radio, USB if you've got something plugged in, or Bluetooth audio if you've got your phone paired to the truck. Left side, left screen, up here, where we see passenger door ajar because the cameraman's got the door open, right? Well, we got a digital speedometer. Also in the upper left-hand side, that's where you're going to see the indicator for a lane keeping system. That's going to say, yes, it's on and active. If we hit that button, it turns itself off. If we hit it, it turns itself back on. That will engage anytime you're driving down the road and it senses a solid or dashed line. Down on the bottom left side of the joystick on the steering wheel is going to be your cruise control. Then you have all your voice controls over on the right side. So cruise here, and then you've got your voice control over here. This is to mute your stereo, pick up the phone, hang up the phone, and use this as either sync voice activated command, or if your phone is plugged in, that's your Siri, because you're using a smartphone like an Android or an Apple, right? So you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That will turn into your Google Voice or into your Siri, right? Easy as that. We've got different drive modes. If we touch the side of where our shifter is, our drive modes are going to give us a normal drive mode, a tow haul mode, an economy mode, a slippery mode, and a deep snow and sand mode. So just by touching through this button, you can adjust 5 different driving modes that you want to be able to use with the 2020 F250 Super Duty from Ford, the 7.3 liter. This thing is awesome. We just drove it around the lot and I'm like, do you feel how much torque this truck has? It is night and day from a 6.2 liter going into the 7.3. So if you really need that extra payload, or if you've got that camper that's 10,000 pounds and then you max it out and it's 12 to 13,000 pounds, you're not maxing this truck out when you're using things like that. You don't have to go all the way up to the diesel. If you go bigger, get the 6.7 liter turbo diesel. Let's take a look upstairs. Not only do we have our map lights and all the controls to control our map lights, our lights on, our lights off, or our door light, we've also got, obviously the LEDs here. We've got different microphones for people talking to be able to hear with the sync system and your Bluetooth. But then we also have these, the auxiliary switches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 switches. Sounds like we're turning on the jet engine of a private jet. Well, that's what you feel like in the cockpit of this F250. Those are wired in underneath the hood. So guess what you don't have? Basically what everybody else has with the stupid toggle switches that you're drilling through your brand new dash on to put onto your truck to hook up things like, oh, I don't know, a fuel pump that goes into the back, additional lighting, more additional lighting in the front and the back. Then you go over here and you can even hook up things like generators or additional plugs and outlets that go into the bed of the truck too. If you are somebody that likes to do the camping, likes to do all those additional accessories, you have the option to do that without making your truck look like crap. There you have it. Sunglasses holder, didn't think they had room for it? Yep, they did. Put your Ray-Bans, your Maui Jims, your whatever up in there and you're good to go, right? Take a look at the back seat real quick. We'll hop out. We're gonna look at the back seat and then we're gonna pop the hood. There's gonna be 2 things we're gonna do. We'll get this thing finished up for you. Cool? In the back of this truck, first thing that you're gonna see is the seats. Yep, the seats go up. If you don't mind throwing that seat up for me, that'd be great. Just lift it right up right there. Good to go. Okay, so this is a storage box that you can use with the truck. Now, you've got this little gate that is actually pretty nice because if you lock that seat in the down position, anything you've got stored over there, you can still utilize this seat going up and down. Anything, if it's handguns or whatever you're traveling with that you don't want people to get into, you can lock that seat in the downward position and that way nobody can access that. That's located right by your power inverter that you saw for the 400 watt inverter on the dash. Now you've got the 400 watt inverter on the back side of this console. Now this console is an option, okay? So you get the 40-20-40 seat, which would be a 3-passenger in the front. You will not get this on the back side of your console. Crack that open, boom, there it is again. Our USB-C and then the standard USB as well. So you have all the charging ports that you could use back here, along with 2 cup holders, along with storage. If you don't want to use the storage, take this lock and push it down. That now gives you a full flat floor. This, going down the road, probably sounds like this, right? So they have a lock right here. If you lock it, now it won't wiggle going down the road and it keeps that annoying sound from happening. It's smart to think of that one forward. But also, if you look at this, I was looking at a Ram the other day. Big old transmission hump right there. Guess what we don't have? A big old transmission hump. So you can put things like a dog kennel, a cooler, anything you want to lay flat without teetering around and making even more racket and noise. Ford's kind of thought about a lot of that stuff. Your bottle jack and your roadside assistance equipment is going to be when that seat is in the downward position, it's located behind that seat. It's a bottle jack, it's pretty simple there. Behind this seat is an open storage area. That's going to be utilized when you have the Lariat or if you have the Platinum, which we're going to show you some additional trucks, but that'll be where they're going to utilize the sound system for B&O, you know, the sound system that Ford is paired with now, which is the upgrade from Sony, which we used to have. Way more crisp, way more clear sound with a lot more bass and a lot more mid-range and treble. Let's take a look underneath the hood and look at the 7.3 liter Godzilla motor under the hood. All right, taking a look under the hood of the 2020 F250. This is going to be the 7.3 liter. Now this has a couple upgrades. We've got an upgraded alternator and we've got the dual battery, which is an upgrade as well. But it's not a crazy upgrade. I mean, you're talking about a few $100s to have dual batteries instead of single and a higher output amperage alternator as well. 7.3 liter, 430 horsepower, 475 pound-foot of torque. It'll haul the mail, no doubt about it. And if we need to go bigger, we can go bigger. We can go with a diesel. But if you like the 7.3 liter, you want a few more goodies inside, you don't need it quite this high lifted, then we'll look at this. Got another option for you. This is going to be the Lariat, which is going to have your quad beam LED headlights, adjustment on the grille as well. We leveled this truck, so instead of a 4.5 inch, we leveled this truck up 2 inches in the front. We wrapped it with 35s versus the 37 Mickey Thompsons that we're talking about. We'll shoot another video on that. But if you don't need to go as big and you don't want it stock and you need a little bit more aggressive of a truck, Lasco Ford's your way to find it. Whether it's stock, whether it's leveled, whether it's lifted, whether it's skyjacked, we can help you out. Please do me a favor. If you got questions about this truck or what we did, any of the concerns that you might talk about with this truck, leave us a comment so we can definitely approach that, answer the question that you might have, or if there's any videos you want to see of a specific truck, please put that in the comments as well. It always helps to like and subscribe with everything that we try and do here so we can keep videos coming to you. My name is Paul Zagme. Very much appreciate you watching this video here at Lasco Ford with the 2020 F250 Super Duty.